Welcome. I call this Gateway Rotary Meetings of Order. Welcome. Please stop down, come on down and share that. Pledge of allegiance to the not very loud. I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Number one, is it the truth? Number two, is it fair to all concerned? Number three, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And number four, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you. I'd like to invite Brenda Patton to come share the inspiration with us today.
Thank you. I appeal to all the positive powers in the universe, the great mystery. I seek enlightenment and to be mindful, joyful, and non-judgmental. I search for truth and expanded awareness. I acknowledge that truth has many aspects and love is large enough to encompass them all. May I always trust in love and the process and show up each day as the best version of myself. Give me the strength to rise above all fear and negative conditioning. Reveal to me all of the ways in which I can serve. May I have the wisdom to use my resources, my gifts, blessings, and opportunities for the betterment of all creation. May I be mindful that not all are given the opportunity to experience the aging process, and it can be difficult. However, it can also have its blessings. For as I respond to the call to be ever more resilient and adaptable, I will continue to have all that I need to be a positive force in the upward movement of mankind. I call upon the 3 G's to be my superpowers as I navigate my golden years: gratitude, grace, and grit. Let the harmony and love flow inward and outward. Oh, so be it. It is so. Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. I would like to extend a thank you to our greeter, Lisa Kramer. Do we have any visiting Rotarians or guests today?
Yes. We have some folks up there.
Welcome.
We've got
Wednesday Club member. Welcome. All right, and thank you. We do have more cards for sale. Doug is our sergeant at arms today, and I'd like to point out this big, fancy, pretty gift over here that someone in this room is going to be lucky enough to win. How could it be? I know, I'm excited. And I'd like to thank Doug, as always, and our entire tech team for doing the magic that they do. Very appreciative of everyone who signs up to do our 4-way pledge and our inspirations. We appreciate your time and your energy. We do have, I know Janie Duell had an announcement, but I do not see Janie. There's, wow, my apologies, Janie. Please come on. Okay, you guys, first of all, I want to apologize. I sent out a email yesterday, and on my email, I used Comic Sans font, which looks great when you get that email. But if you read your emails on your phone, it was a crazy scripty thing that was really hard to read. So I apologize for that. Note to self for next time. So my email was about the Josephine County Food Bank Jelly July fundraiser, and we're sort of competing with the Wednesday Club And as of right now, the Wednesday Club has 761 pounds of jelly that's been donated. And our club only has 421 pounds of jelly donated. So I really want to thank you, Greg and somebody else. Oh, Lisa for bringing jelly, and Margaret and Judy for giving donations for us to go buy jelly. If anybody else wants to donate. And Patty Toronto, thank you so much. What's that, Don? Dawn too, wonderful. So thank you to everybody who brought in jelly. If anybody else wants to do a cash donation, yay! I'm just gonna stay up there because the numbers get better and better. Come on, bring it on. Anyway, thank you all very much for helping out with this jelly drive. It's a fun one, but it goes to a really good cause. So, but see me after if you need anything else.
Thank you, Jamie. We do have our social tonight at Dawn's house, and I just wanted to remind you that we're encouraging folks to carpool based on limited space for parking. I'm really excited. I'm going to be there. I hope to see you all there. Lisa still has more cards for sale. 5 cards. So they're going away. So hopefully we'll get all those sold by the end. Okay, we covered visiting Rotarians. We are up to introducing our program. Very grateful that you're here to share with us about Mount Ashland. I could read all the things that hopefully everybody read in the Navigator about you, but I would like to just introduce you to come on down and introduce yourselves with some background. We have Adam Reese, who's President, Adam Reese, and Blair Moody, President and board members with Mount Ashland.
We also have Gabby Connor, who's our development marketing. Good. So first of all, thank you all for having us here today to tell you about what's going on in Mount Ashland. The second thing, I had a question for everybody here. How many people actually ski or have skied at Mount Ashland? That's awesome. And how many of you snowboard? Yeah, all right. I knew we had two. So I am the current president of Mount Ashland. Mount Ashland is managed by a nonprofit board, and it is a nonprofit entity, which is very important because my goal is obviously to serve the community and make our alpine environment available to everybody that's possible. So what's important about what's going on in Mount Ashland right now is our infrastructure is aging. Mount Ashland's been around since 1962. And our aerial lift has been at the mountain since we opened, and our Windsor lift is now just over 40 years old. These lifts are critical to the survival of the mountain and us being around for another 60 years. So we're out trying to obviously tell the story of Mount Ashland and why it's important to the entire Rogue Valley and those outside the Rogue Valley. I mean, honestly, for me, when I moved here 22 years ago or so, it was important for me to have a ski area nearby because that's a place where I was able to connect with my own children and be able to spend time with them. Although I did get cell service from work, but pretty much not working and not taking care. And I built great relationships with my kids and then carried forward to running one of the high school snowboard teams for the last 10 years on the mountain. I've had several kids, not just from Medford, Crater Lake, or Central Point, etc., from Crane's Pass too. The thing I love about it is the mountain's a place where you have these kids that are from all these different high schools, and they would never ever get together, but they do on the mountain. And my son, who just graduated from South Medford, his 2 best friends go to 2 different high schools. And he met them on the snowboard team. So, like I said, the mountain is a place where I feel like the entire Rogue Valley has a central area of a common interest. So it's important for us to talk to you guys about this because when the mountain became a nonprofit and owned by the community, the Rotary groups in the entire Rogue Valley were critical in helping us raise the funds we needed to purchase the mountain from the previous owner. So you guys It'll be critical for us to raise the funds we need to carry the town into the next generation. So I'm gonna let Blair or Abby, or I'm gonna let Blair say a word or two, and then Gabby will step up and give you guys the presentation, a little bit about the history of the mountain and what we're planning. But again, thank you so much for being here. We'll be answering questions afterwards as well. And certainly if you have any other questions that I can answer, you can get my personal information and I'll be happy to reply to them. So thanks again, guys.
Hi there, I'm Blair Moody. I'm a 26-year board member of Mount Ashland. That's a third of my life, I just realized. I'm chair of the development committee, and what I was going to say, Adam has already covered that, so I'll turn it over down to Gabby. Thanks.
Hi, everybody. My name is Gabby Clemmer. I'm the marketing manager for Mount Ashland. And I've been with Mount Ashland now for a couple years, so not quite as long as Blair. But I do have a connection to the Rogue Valley. While I didn't grow up here, my husband grew up in Ashland, and we've been together now for 12 years. And I learned how to snowboard on Sonnet. Now our 2.5-year-old, he just had his first season and got to get up on a snowboard and was very excited about, Mama, I want to go in the tunnel, please, on a snowboard. So he was very excited about that. So yes, my family is very connected to the Rogue Valley and Mount Ashland specifically. So Mount Ashland, building a reliable future for our community mountain. We have two different clickers, sorry. Okay, great. So we'll talk a little bit about Mount Ashland history and who we are. We'll talk about some exciting recent improvements, and then we'll go into threats to not only our community ski area, but ski areas everywhere. Talk about our chairlift replacement project that Adam mentioned just a little bit ago, and then what you can all do to help. So I won't talk about all of this, but essentially with Mount Ashland history, Mount Ashland was essentially founded by a group called the Rogue Snowmen back in the late 1950s. They had this idea and a dream. They brought up a Tucker snowcat and one rope tow, and were open on the weekends and had tickets for selling tickets for that. And that eventually turned into what we know as Mount Ashland Ski Area today. The ski area transitioned to a nonprofit in 1992. It was purchased from Harbor Properties, which is what Adam mentioned earlier. Since then, while it used to be owned by the city, it is no longer. It is owned and operated by Mount Ashland Association, which is a 501c3 nonprofit. And here are just some very fun photos of the construction of the Sid and Karen DeBoer Lodge, or what would be the Sid and Karen DeBoer Lodge, as well as the construction of our first chairlift. That's Windsor there on the left. And then aerial chairlift was constructed in 1963, and that's there on the right. So in more recent years, the lodge was actually renovated in 2014. And as I mentioned, it was renamed to the Karen and Sid DeBoer Lodge. We added a first act learning conveyor carpet, which helped with the progression of skiers or snowboarders. And then Lithia Chairlift was built in 2024. That reopened terrain that had previously existed but was no longer. And as I mentioned, it's really about building a more gradual progression for our skiers and snowboarders, because our mountain for many, many years was known for being steep and cheap. That was a catchphrase that we used for a long time. I'm sure many of you are familiar with. But that is not as welcoming to the next generation, and also to parents that want to bring their kids up. They hear steep and they say, I don't want to do that. So this is a great way to push that progression. We want to make it fun for everyone, right? So talking a little bit more about Mount Ashland Association. So as I mentioned, we're a 501c3 nonprofit. We operate on U.S. Forest Service permitted land, but the association actually owns all of the infrastructure. There's 15 board members. So Blair and Adam are 2 of them, and then we have 13 more. And then we also have a group of committees that covers everything from finance and facilities to governance. And they are an amazing resource for staff members that work for Mount Ashland Association. So the mission for the association is to provide and promote a healthy quality experience in an alpine environment. We really want to be the hub for Southern Oregon alpine recreation.
So just a little bit about our ski area. You know, we've come a long way since our rope tow in the 1950s. We now have 5 chairlifts. We have a conveyor lift. We have a ski and snowboard school and a rental shop. We have 2 restaurants and a bar, and we have 44 ski trails on 240 acres of skiable terrain. So we've expanded quite a bit since our inception. A little bit more, just I'll touch on a few of these points about our 2024 through 2026 larger improvements. So we've done a lot just in the last couple of years to try and improve the ski area. We replaced all of our night lighting with LED night lights. And add a lot more to expand our twilight terrain, which was huge. A twilight ticket is much cheaper. You can head up in the evenings after work or take your kiddos up after school and take some runs. And it's much darker, but at the same time, it's a great option for those that might not be able to afford or don't want to deal with the crowds during the daytime. It's an amazing option. So that's been great. We launched our Mount Ashland mobile app, which was a fantastic resource for both lift ticket holders and season pass holders. And then we completed construction of a more difficult trail, Bumblebee. More difficult is also known as intermediate, and that's just adding an additional run to really help with the progression of skiers and riders. As I mentioned, that comes directly off of Libya Chairlift, and we're hoping to open that. We wanted to open it this past season, but with how short the season was, we're opening it this coming season. We also created a $40 lower lift ticket. So in the past, we've had Sonnet as a lift ticket, which is our beginner chairlift. And then it immediately went to an all mountain ticket. So it was the rest of the mountain. And not everybody is ready to hop on our most challenging lift right away. So the lower lift ticket included one more lift that has more difficult, which is intermediate terrain. And essentially just, again, helps with a more gradual progression for our skiers and riders. And it's $40 for a lower lift ticket is pretty unmatched. So we're really excited about that. And then one of Mount Ashland Association's biggest focuses over the last few years is expanding to our year-round offerings. Our goal is for the outdoor community to see us, our lodge and our ski area as a trailhead for all of their adventures. It's scary to think about, but we don't know where we're going to be in 50 years. So expanding our off-season offerings not only ensures the ski area's sustainability, but it also invites a guest who may not be interested in winter recreation or may not have the means to be able to recreate in winter. We know that skiing and riding is inherently expensive. So summertime is a lot less costly barrier for entry. We're in our 3rd year of doing summer events and our alpine adventure camps for the kids. Some of our fun off-season or summer and fall events include, we just had an Alpine Music Festival this past weekend. We have 4 drive-in movies in first 4 Saturdays in August. So this month, the first one is coming up on Saturday. And then we have on September 19th, we have our Oktoberfest, which is always such a blast. And then we have at this point, it's gained quite a lot of attention, our Haunting on Mount Ashland, which is during spooky season in October. So now moving on to the less fun stuff. So there are quite a few threats to community ski areas all over the country, including Mount Ashland. But before I dive into that, I really quickly want to touch on ski area. We are a ski area, not a ski resort, and there is a difference. Think of it very simply as a ski resort. You can go up there and stay for an entire week and never have to leave. A ski area is more, you go up to ski and then you get to enjoy all the amenities down in the valley. We are not community owned, but we are community funded and community supported to be a community asset. So diving into the actual threats themselves, I'll talk about the first 3, which is access to capital for one. We don't have the ability to pull expertise or equipment from a sister ski area like a lot of the other larger resorts do. And we don't have a large pool of trained talent that we can pull from. The Rogue Valley, while our talent is incredible and we have an amazing staff, they're not quite as large as if you were to go to like Jacksonville, Wyoming, or go to Salt Lake, where they have hundreds of people and hundreds of resorts, but a lot of them. We also don't have unlimited access to cash and ability to fund large dream projects. And we'll touch more on that in a moment. Another one is climate change. Winters are getting shorter and more unpredictable. This past season was a perfect example of that. And finally, rising costs, not just operational costs, but we've seen a 129% increase in insurance, liability insurance. So the one I really want to focus on today is aging infrastructure. So aging chairlifts is the largest threat to ski areas in North America today. They are becoming increasingly costly to maintain. Parts are scarce. The yawns, which is Windsor chairlift, and the riblets, which is aerial chairlift, require more institutional knowledge from lift mechanics that are aging out. And by that, I mean there's just not that many of them left. A lot of ski resorts and ski areas have upgraded at this point. So the knowledge is no longer there and being passed down the way that it used to be. They're also costly to replace, as I mentioned, and also for us specifically require considerably more effort because of how our capital projects are funded and that we operate on Forest Service permitted land. So as Adam mentioned earlier, aerial chairlift is 63 years old and winter chairlift is 48. Sonnet and Cobra chairlifts are both 35. They're safe to ride, excuse me, but the average lifespan for a lift is 25 years. So it's time. Like I said, they're safe to ride, but it's time to replace them. So funding capital projects. A majority of projects that Mount Ashland has completed are donor funded and not pulled from operational revenue. Why is that? Well, Mount Ashland is able to keep our ski area season pass and lift tickets amongst the lowest on the West Coast. And the point of that is to make winter recreation as affordable and accessible as we possibly can. Because our goal as a nonprofit is to just get people up there, right? We don't raise our prices to fund capital projects and rely on community support through donations and then also through grants. The revenue that we do get from lift tickets and from season passes goes directly towards paying for operational costs, paying our insurance, and also making sure that our employees are making a livable wage. So as Adam mentioned, Mount Ashland Association is now undertaking a transformative infrastructure project to replace aerial and Windsor chairlifts. These are two vital components to our chairlift. I know many of you raised your hands earlier and said that you've skied or snowboarded. I'm sure many of you have been on these chairlifts. They've carried skiers and riders for generations now, and it's time to replace them so we can build a more reliable future for the next generation, so they can experience the same kind of joy and happiness and learning and growth that we've had access to for decades now. So this is what the new Windsor chairlift is going to look like there on the right. If you've been up there recently, it's going to be very similar to Lithia chairlift that was just put in. It's built by the same company, Skytrack. It'll have the same load and unload locations. It'll be a triple chair, not a double. It'll be built in one off season, and the construction for that will start this coming May 2027. And then you see there, oops. Now you see there, aerial chair. And so that will also be the same alignment. It'll unload just slightly below from the current unload location. It'll also be a triple chair, just like Windsor, which is exciting because that's been a double chair since Mount Ashland's inception. Also very exciting is that we're building a terminal building that it will enclose the top of aerial, and that will really help with wind resistance and rime ice, something that Mount Ashland has been struggling with for a very long time. So our lift mechanics are very happy about that. That lift will also be built in one off season, so in the summertime, but it will be built in May of 2028. So the following year after Windsor, if we can raise the funds, and then the terminal building will be built the following year after that in 2029. So why now? Why is this critical? Routine inspections have showed that there is a critical component of Windsor chairlift that's at the end of its service life. And it's not a someday maybe problem. It's, as I mentioned earlier, safely operable, but it has just a limited lifespan remaining. We only operated for 17 days this past season. So while there's a lot of negatives to that, one big positive was that it basically bought us an additional year to use Windsor. As I mentioned earlier, replacement parts are scarce and they're expensive. So we have to do it now because we're running out of good options to be able to replace them. Windsor is considered to be the portal to our mountain. Its financial impact, if it went down, would exceed $1 million per year. That is detrimental for our community ski area. We would no longer be around. This isn't about comfort. It's not about modernization. It's just about reliability, protecting the future of Mount Ashland. So why does this matter? Well, Mount Ashland averages $9.9 million in economic impact in Rogue Valley each year. We employ 250 seasonal staff. So they come to us in the winter and then they run the rivers in the summertime. They work in the restaurant industry in the summertime. We engage more than 1,400 youth, and we partner with 35 schools and provide thousands of dollars in scholarships so the kids can experience the Learn to Ski and Ride program in our Alpine Adventure camps and be able to experience the Alpine. And then just taking that, a step further, for over 30 years, our Ski and Ride program has hosted tens of thousands of children, introducing them to skiing and riding. And it's not just a goal of bringing them into, it's healthy to outdoor recreate, but it's also they build self-confidence, they find community, and they get to explore nature and get in touch with that while they're doing it. Specifically in Grants Pass, we're working to get multiple schools integrated into the program, including North Middle School and Riverside Elementary. And then we had 17 students from Grants Pass and Canyonville Adventist join us for the 24-25 season. Mount Ashland is an integral part of Southern Oregon and Northern California communities. And if we don't replace these lifts, hundreds of children will lose access to an asset that we have all had that has positively impacted our community since 1962. Our ski area enriches the lives of so many. And now more than ever, we need the community's help to raise these funds. So what you can do, become an advocate, spread the word, be a part of making history. Together, we can all ensure that we will all have access to Southern Oregon's hub for alpine recreation so that we can all find adventure and joy in the outdoors. Is there any questions? Go ahead.
Would you repeat the question for the folks on phone to be able to hear it?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
With winter shortening and of course the summer's getting longer, have you guys given thought to doubling as a mountain bike park in the summer? I know a lot of skiers.
Yes, so for those on Zoom, he's asking about having mountain biking in the summertime. We have done feasibility studies on summer mountain biking, and the reality is the insurance for mountain biking is actually more expensive in the summertime than in the winter. So there's that. And for us, it's exceeding $1 million a year in the wintertime. And then also, just building the infrastructure alone would be incredibly costly. And then on top of that, you have the fact that we're on U.S. Forest Service land, permitted land. And it causes a lot of erosion. So there's a lot of discussions around that too. I don't think that it's off the table forever and ever and ever, but it's not something that we're considering in the immediate future. Although I know a lot of other ski areas are doing that. I'm a mountain biker myself, so that would be amazing. But yeah, great question. Go ahead.
How much are you trying to raise and how much have you already raised?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So how much are we trying to raise? And how much are we trying to raise and what have we raised thus far? So the total left to be raised as of right now, as a whole, because we're replacing Windsor and Ariel, is around approximately $6.3 million. And I say approximately because for Windsor, we have about $1.87 million left to raise. We've raised about $2 so far. But aerial is a whole nother story. Windsor, we're locked in already. That is happening. We're already under contract and we have US Forest Service permits approved already. So that will happen in May, but aerial is still prone to inflation. So as of right now, I can say 4.3 million for aerial, but that is not, that might be greater. Yeah. Anyone else? All right. Well, thank you all so much. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you. That was awesome. That was a great presentation. Appreciate you coming over here and sharing that with us. I'm surprised you're all so quiet. You always have questions. So next, I would like to invite Doug Walker up as our Sergeant at Arms and look at this shiny president over here. I am still such a 6-year-old when it comes to a president.
Okay. We got a lot of time, so we're gonna go slow. Before we happy notes. Okay, so it's our regularly scheduled game show. This side of the room against that side of the room. Answering questions. Okay, and remember, I am the arbitrator of all decisions. And I take bribes. So remember that. Okay, so that side, it's that side. First question, and I also keep score too. So the topic is news. All day it'll be news. So and I promise not, I'm doing my best not to be political, all right, in the news. That is not easy to accomplish. Okay, first is kind of from a quote, but you'll see what the question is. So first quote from Ashley Parker from the Evening Standard. She wrote about the big movie of this summer. It's the rare case where the movie is better than the poem. Odyssey, okay, all right, good. And there's a lot of speculation and excitement about another movie coming out from Quentin Tarantino, something about the man from Nantucket. Think about the poem, Man from Nantucket. Right? It'd be like 12-year-olds to get that. Come on, think about what rhymes with Nantucket. Well, it's in the movie, you know. Yeah. All right. Let's move on. All right. That's not a question. It's just a part of the joke. Oh, keep on. All right. Never mind. I'll move on.
C, the answer is C.
Okay. See, that's true. Okay. This side. Okay. So 3 points over here. So, so most people love the movie, but a lot of the talk about it is in what format are you seeing it in? So there's a lot to choose from. There's Dolby Vision, there's 36 millimeter, there's 70 millimeter, there's IMAX 70 millimeter. I don't know what any of these are. But the true connoisseur is choosing there's 25 theaters that show the IMAX 70 millimeter special one. And people are flying and driving hours to see that cross country. Pretty amazing. I'll be pretty excited about that. Okay, next quote. This side. Another quote is about the summer's pest. This is the summer pest, P-E-S-T, pest, that is just taking over our countryside. There's a clear winner in the war between humans and this pest, and it's not us. That was an epidemiologist talking about the blood-sucking and disease-carrying bug that we should be checking for ourselves for this summer. Ticks. Okay. They do some encouraging. It's a hard life being a tick. Tick populations are exploding just about every state this summer. Emergency room visits for tick bites are at all-time highs. This is it's in the lettuce too. With the lettuce. This is all, of course, the CDC, which of course now headed by a tick. They're only political. The New Yorker did a celebrity profile to one variety of tick, the Lone Star tick. Lone Star tick. This one doesn't wait for you to walk by in the grass. It will, quote, pursue you. This tick checks you. And it can crawl up your leg in seconds, even if you're sitting in the audience. All right. All right. This tick carries a disease called alpha gal. Alpha gal. And this gives you, this is pretty rare, so worry about it. But it's alpha gal, and it's a fatal allergy to red meat. You got that one? Pretty, a fatal allergy to red meat. So that was pretty rare there. So Okay, did you get that right?
Yep, yes.
Okay, 2 points. Why are you looking at me like this is stupid or what? I like the better of that. They bribed me with a cookie. You didn't bring me a cookie.
So I'm questioning the validity of this. She got a Lone Star tick from Texas that's injecting you with something making you fatally allergic to meat. That is correct. Just doesn't. That is true.
Well, you know what? File a complaint then, file a complaint. Okay. Next question, or thing. So, this one is a little bit big. So your colleagues. So this is a quote. Your colleagues don't necessarily want to see your hairy legs. That's the quote. This was from style editor Samuel Hine, talking about the growing trend of men wearing what to the office? Yours, okay. 6 points. So NBC News reports that thanks to rising temperatures everywhere, U.S. officials are losing their U.S. offices are losing their dress codes to allow men to wear shorts. Now, the first draft of the rule was you don't have to wear pants to come to work, but after a day or two of that, they clarified this. So, all right. This is also happening in Japan, where it's a big deal because in Japan, if you've ever been there, there's a lot of formality in office, especially in government offices. And there's a regulation banning shorts in government offices, but it was just suspended for the first time, and men are coming to work wearing shorts. And employees, though other employees are not happy about it, they call it the true leg hair harassment. Therefore, people being harassed about being too hairy. That's a new issue for HR. Okay, 6 points to 3, right? 3? Two. That's right, you're fine the point. Okay, so this is good. Okay. Name the one ingredient in the new trend of banana ice cream. What's the one ingredient? Banana. What was it? Banana. Okay, that was easy one. Wasn't that easy? That was easy. Okay, well, you only get 1 point for this. It was banana. So apparently, the Times cooking app featured a recipe for banana ice cream that is literally freeze a banana. Yep. And the recipe is almost 5,000 ratings. People actually put their rating in for frozen banana. And of course, if you know the New York Times cooking app, half the comments are like 0 stars, inedible. Also, I didn't have a banana, so I used canola oil. The most popular comment on this is, I broke my parents' blender. What am I supposed to do now? That was the most of all the comments. That was the most popular. That got the most likes or what's that? Okay. So you now have 4 points to 6, right? Or no, 3 points. You had 2. You got 5. So you're at 3, right? Okay. So back over here this side. As we all know nowadays, books are mainly used as doorstops. Books, right? And or to serve as backgrounds for your Zoom calls. However, they are also serve another important purpose, making other people think you are smart because you read. Luckily, the fine folks at Cabinet Magazine have created a service that allows you to continue. This is a true or false. Yeah, forgot to start that. This is true or false. Decide this one. So, Cabinet Magazine has created a service that allows you to continue being a charlatan by wearing out your books and making them look red for just €5. You can get an essential handling package, including a professional spine break for your books, 2 scholastic dog ears for your books, 4 underlining passages, 1 existential contextual appropriate piece in the margin, written in the margin, like I agree, don't agree, they'll do that for you. It totally looks like you know how to read. The premier package, so is this true? Is this a true story? The premier package added mauling the edges of the book with a drill and sandpaper, as well as, quote, 1 stain using cheap wine or coffee, etc. True. Yes. Okay. I think just for listening to that whole thing, you get 7 points for that one. So oh, it's €5. The premier package was €14. The simple package was €5. These €14. They didn't say whether it was your own books or they'd send you a book. Okay. I think so. I don't know the details because I don't read. I have no idea. Yes. I listen to it. Yeah. I listen to it. It's like these podcasting thingy on my phone thing. The kids set me up. It's really cool. Okay. Next, this side. This week we learned about a new trend in weddings. Couples are letting guests get more involved in the big day by doing what?
Plan. The bachelorette.
This is a tough one. Okay.
We're all together.
No kids out there, grandkids? Want a hint? It rhymes with setting. You might do it on, what's that? Betting, yes, betting. Okay. So the New York, according to New York Times again reports, New York Times reports that many couples are making prop bets. This is pretty big with younger people. Betting, B. Yeah. Sicko, she's sicko. Okay, so let's see. Next time. Okay, prop bets. Do you guys know what prop bets are? Some of us probably don't. So prop bets are where you kind of you bet on whether something's going to happen or not, some future thing. It's really it's kind of exploding quite a bit, and it's also getting into some areas that really shouldn't be, like politics and it's predictions basically. So anyway, part of their weddings, guests can bet on things like the length of the first kiss, who will cry first, who will make a toast, what will the toast be? Will the toast be funny or not? So this is what they're allowing their guests to do. What will the first dance be? But they're not allowed to make the obvious bet, which is how long will it last? Okay. Did you get that right?
Yeah.
Oh, 9 points then. Is that what it is? 9 points, right? How many points you got? You're not lying, are you? 10? Okay, 97. John, you can't count. Okay, this side.
Happy bugs.
Not yet. Ready? Three more. I got 2 pages this time. No, it's not last time. Okay, we're going fast. Sleep is very important, of course. So absolute new trend in best night's sleep for just $57,000. $57,000. You can get the world's greatest what?
Hello.
Pillow. Pillow. 3 more points on this side. Pillow. $57,000. The tailor-made pillow company offers a custom-made pillow with quote cooling tersal cover, high-tech tailoring, and a 24-karat gold cover. That's what you want to lay your head on. It's gold. That sounds comfortable. Okay, I think it's ties right now. Right? You got 14 and you got 14 points. Ties. I know. Okay. So last question. It's tiebreaker. The BBC, they recently came up with an amazing way to get camera really close to wild animals without scaring it away. They just hide the remote control camera where? Where would they hide the remote control camera? No pressure, but I'm counting it down. You can steal it. If you're ready, you can steal it. Move. Oh, wait. They stole it. 15 points to 13, 14 points. They won. Okay, you all share. Greg, you're Greg. The answer, you're responsible. I'm responsible for the package. Well, then you will now get it. You won. You get to give that stuff away. Okay, we're going to go to Happy Bucks. I will start with Happy Bucks as Greg's handing this out. I've got my little note somewhere. We have Happy Bucks. Did we announce this? But Renee Sorensen had her baby a couple weeks ago. Do we all know that? No. And does anybody remember, is it a boy or girl? Because I don't remember. Somebody told me it was a boy. And he's. I think everybody's healthy. He did get in a little bit of a serious car wreck right before the birth, and that was a little scary. And I believe she might have been in the hospital for a day or two because of that. But she is good, and the baby's good, and hopefully she's back sometime soon, and we get to see the baby. I did not have the baby. We does not have a neighbor for the garden or any or a car window that was left open and there's put a squash in there. Okay, The other thing I'm happy for, sorry, happy bucks, is I went fishing yesterday.
Down there, okay, although I know they're not hardly
Seven
changing,
salmon. It was a wonderful day.
might
I
not
did
matter.
my ritual vomiting for about 5 minutes, about midway
Yeah.
through the whole thing, so I'm good to go. And
Well,
then
actually-
somebody said Dramamine. I was like, that's a good.
Wow.
That's what said, "Take some Dramamine."
Whatever. and then-
Yeah, there's whatever it is. Take some Dramamine, you dumbass.
Oh,
I'll
God.
have to
Okay.
text you. Okay, happy bucks. Who's got some? Hang on, Mike's coming.
I know you guys missed me. I've been gone for a few weeks. I just want to share an update on the utility boxes. So you know that we just finished 7 more, if you notice downtown. So we have 39 to do. The city selected 39. We just finished number 25. So we've got 14 to go, and we have enough money for the next 7. And we're going to do the RFP pretty soon. And then after that, there are just 6 more. So thank you for everybody who's donated. And aren't they fun? So I got $20 I'm going to give to the utility box fund. Next.
Oh, the new lock toys. It's better than that.
I have a few happy bucks for our presenters today. It was really a lot of fun to hear about that. I lived in Ashland in the early 90s when I think every car was required to have a Save Mount Ashland bumper sticker on it. Most of those cars have probably been retired, but that was just kind of a neat memory that the whole community was coming together to, I guess that was probably when they were initially purchasing it, and it was very exciting, and I've enjoyed it a lot in the meantime.
Yeah, it's a great mountain. Thank you for the presentation. Hang on, coming to your baby.
I have a couple of happy bucks because I'm heading out this afternoon for Los Angeles for my great grandbaby's baby shower.
I wanted to say thank you for the presentation. I know I was born about the same time your ski resort was born. So I know that things are starting to need a fill. So I appreciate you asking for it.
I have a happy buck for Mount Ashland. I went skiing once in my life. And it was at Mount Ashland. I was 13. It was a church trip. I had Scotch guarded Levi's and my cotton jacket. And I said, this is the bunny hill. So my best friend and I, we went up the chairlift and we crashed off the chairlift and we got back up. And I just went to the edge of the bunny hill and I went, so I just go down, right? And I just jumped off and I went down. And my best friend goes, no way. So I'm just going and I'm fast. And I realized about halfway down I didn't know how to stop. So I just sat down. Then I tumbled and I was fine and I spent the whole day there and it was a lot of fun. It was a great memory.
That is probably a very similar story to a lot of us when we first went to ski. Like, whoops, I am over my head. This is no shit.
I was a late starter in skiing. I was 40. I was living in Southern California and I learned how to ski in a 3-story building. Just Jim Christie's and doing that stuff. And the first time I went skiing, I convinced the chairlift guy to stop to let me off.
So that was in LA. There was a building where you could learn to ski. And one big refrigerator, wasn't that thing? Oh, just dust or powder or something.
Yes, thank you for your presentation. And I was just up at Mount Ashland for the 100-mile run, 60-mile run. Yes, we're not talking just a marathon, beyond the marathon. Now, I didn't run it. Yeah, my body hurt just watching these people run. But the view up there, we're so lucky to have Mount Ashland and the facilities up there. Even in the summer, the view was spectacular, like mind-blowing. And I forget that we can go up there during the summer and enjoy it. So that event was amazing and really
absolutely grueling. Why would anyone do that? It was incredibly well hosted and yeah, maybe that would be one of our outings, go hike at International.
Yeah, it's nice to hear that you're doing more and more summer activities up there. I think that's really worthwhile. I don't know if there's any that Gabby didn't touch on. You want to mention what might be upcoming?
We have drive-in movies, she mentioned those starting on.
So drive, yeah.
Every Friday in August, we have a drive-in movie. I think the first one may be E.T., if I remember correctly. What else do we have coming up? We have our Oktoberfest in September, and then our annual Halloween event, which is called Haunting, which is incredibly popular. We're looking into several other different types of events that we can continually add to the docket. For people to come and visit them out. So
Is the Oktoberfest a day or that begins?
I believe the Oktoberfest is a day, but the haunting takes place over several days because it sells out. In case you didn't hear, we also have several summer camps through the summer, and this year we had Max King running camp. Max is apparently a local celebrity who's a world-renowned runner, and he had a group of kids up there, and they actually all slept over in the lodge and did some high altitude quote training up there. That was also a lot of fun. We had a great time hosting them. So we do a lot of weddings and celebrations of life as well, especially people who skied and love skiing at Mount Ashland. So we've had several of those this summer as well. Thank you.
The Halloween thing, yes. Mostly family focus, or is that?
All ages, and we're looking for volunteers. So anybody wants to dress up and scare people. Say you guys seem like the group that will help. Yeah.
Dress up in that.
The happy bucket should be a couple of thousand, but money. Some of you know I've been a trustee of a trust for the last 2 years. And as of August, it will officially be 2 years. Anyway, I'm done, completed. My responsibilities, and I just want to say I learned a lot about trust. When someone asks you to be a trustee, I learned don't say yes. Never say yes.
Okay, anybody else? Kelly?
I
am.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for the presentation today, and yay, you, Margaret. But also, I loved it that because of climate and how we didn't have really much of a winter this year at all, and I don't know what we've got in store. I love it that you are broadening your horizons and moving into other ideas of how to use Mount Ashland year round. And I think that's just really good.
Any others? We're gonna go to Happy Bucks, or not Happy Bucks, what do you call these things? Cards. King of Diamonds. King of Diamonds a winner. You got it? Oh, Patty got it. Hey.
Thank you, Doug. You're an excellent sergeant at arms. I love your sense of humor. All right, so that concludes our meeting for today. Thank you again to our presenters. We really appreciate you. And I will leave you with the thought for the day from Winston Churchill. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give.
Bye.